like you to take a moment. I invite you to imagine your dream workday. Close your eyes. Where are you working? What are you doing? Who are you working alongside? How are you getting creative ideas and inspiration? Soak it in. Did anyone imagine this? No, isn't that funny? That's commuters, for those who can't see. 10 million Australians are commuting to work each day. In Sydney, on average, we're spending 7 hours a week. That's more time than we're spending cooking and with our families. We're also exposing ourselves to really high-risk behaviours. Driving, which, if it doesn't injure us in the short term, it's certainly going to contribute to that sedentary lifestyle of ours. And we're not exactly going to inspiring places, are we? We're going to places that look kind of like a chicken coop, yeah? And where presenteeism is more important than what we're actually doing. But that's just the average Australian, right? Can I get a show of hands who today lived that dream work day? Hands up. Okay. Who today worked wherever they wanted? They had the tools that they could do whatever they wanted? Oh, wow. Okay. Who today was working alongside awesome people that they're really inspired by? Okay, that's not bad. Jeez. I didn't think it would be that bad. And it's costing us money. The average Western Sydney commuter, $7,500 commuting each year. More than they're probably spending on an annual vacation. It's also contributing to not exactly healthy lifestyles. For those that commute, it results in increased rates of high blood pressure and chronic disease. And it's also contributing to a poorer emotional well-being. Research in the UK shows that people commuting in peak period times are experiencing the same level of anxiety as riot police squadron. Insane. And you can imagine that level of anxiety isn't helping in terms of our social infrastructure either. A study in Sweden found that just a 45-minute commute each day increases the rate of divorce by 40%. Whoa. Yeah, less time for loving, I guess, right? And it's not just people that are being affected by it. Here in Australia, we're losing $1.4 billion each year by not employing employees more flexibly. There's so much high-performance talent like young mums that companies aren't embracing. And that really begs the question, why are we doing this? And if all progress depends on the unreasonable demand, why can't we make a change towards that? Tonight, we've been talking about that average Australian, and we know here we're not exactly much better than the average Australian. So I invite you to think about what change can you be making to be unreasonable to liberate yourself from the way that you're currently working. And I like to think about it in 3 really simple ways. Is your work distributed? Can you work wherever you want? Is your work flexible? Can you work when you want? You know, in this day and age, we could work 24/7. And finally, is it collaborative? Are you being inspired by people around you? Do you have opportunities to connect with people around you? And this doesn't mean quitting your job. These are changes we can make even with our own regular jobs. So distributed. Microsoft is actually doing a really good job of this. They kicked everyone out of their office last summer for a day as part of Summer's Day Out, encouraging people to think about, actually, I don't need to be in the office. But you too can make that change. This is a photo from Rouse Hill where there's people already using one of their local smart work hubs. So instead of commuting into the city, they're using a shared workspace. And workspaces like these will be available in Penrith, Oran Park, Gosford and Wyong by the end of this year. So we are making that change. Flexible. So it's really worth thinking about, you know, at this day and age, you could actually work 6 a.m. till midnight with your devices. But do you actually want to be living a life like that? And in some cases, presenteeism is valued. So how can you, whether you are an employee or a manager, start to think about, actually, what are the outcomes that need to be achieved this week and this month? And how can I enable both myself and my staff to be working when they want to enable those outcomes? Not everyone works 9 to 5. And finally, collaborative. So every research we've seen shows that companies that are more collaborative are more likely to be productive and profitable. So that actually asks us as individuals, how can we too start to be more collaborative? How can we build our networks? And a really simple way could be going to one of your local co-working spaces, so shared collaborative workspaces. This is a shot of Hub Sydney, which is actually just down the road, where you can meet over 1,000 different entrepreneurs and innovators, and start to think differently by being exposed to different industries. So I'd like to conclude. How are you being unreasonable to liberate yourself from the way you're working? After all, we know if you change the way you work, you change the way you live. Thank you.